my loves, it's Sheena and I'm back with another video. So on today's video, I'll be talking to you about recovery homes versus Airbnbs. Okay, so which one should you choose? Now, I'm just gonna tell you my personal experience with both because I've stayed in the Airbnb and I've also stayed in a recovery home. So I have experience with both, and I'll just let y'all know what my experience was, and then you can just make your decision. So my round one in Colombia, I stayed in an Airbnb. And for those of you who don't know, Airbnbs are basically like bed and breakfast, or they're homes that you can rent out a room and you can stay there for a certain amount of time. And so the particular Airbnb that I stayed in was in Colombia. I believe at the time I paid about $20 a day. So I paid $20 a day. I think I had to stay a total of 16 days. So I stayed a total of 16 days at $18 a day. Transportation to my doctor's appointments was not included. It was $2 per day for transportation. They did include breakfast for free, but you had to pay for your own lunch and dinner, and I think that was probably about $2 a day for that. And then you had you didn't have a nurse, but I did have a lady. It was we had a maid, and there was a lady that was over the Airbnb who was there to help us, like, you know, coordinate different things, like as far as like doctor's appointment goes, take us to the mall, help us with, like, you know, translating different things like that. So the Airbnb, I stayed there, like I said, for 16 days, and at that time I had a tummy tuck, lipo BBL, and so I stayed in a room. The house, I can't remember how many girls were in the house, but it wasn't that many. I think it was like only 3 of us at the time getting surgery. So Airbnbs, like, they're small, they're more private type of, you know, situation. I had my own room and everything. So that was pretty much how it went. Like I said, $2 a day for transportation, and this was like in 2015. So yeah, I found the Airbnb on the website Airbnb, and then I believe there was a girl that stayed there who put it on her Instagram surgery page, and she recommended the place. And actually, yeah, that's how I found out about it, from Instagram. And then I just went on Airbnb and I booked it. So yeah, like I said, there was a maid there, so she did all the cooking, cleaning, washing your clothes. And then the other lady there, she was like the coordinator. And then the driver, she was also a translator as well. She did the transporting, and she was a translator. So my stay there was really, really nice. In fact, I would have stayed there again, but unfortunately they had some type of situation happen and they decided not to rent out their rooms to girls having surgery. I'm not sure what happened, but unfortunately, you know, so I couldn't stay there a second time. But there are a lot of girls who still choose the Airbnb method. Maybe not that particular one, but they, like, Airbnb has like a ton of like homes that you can rent out, rooms you can rent out. You can even like hire a nurse, hire a driver, and then, you know, you can stay in the Airbnb. Now, honestly, I prefer the Airbnb better because it was more like private. So this gets me into like the recovery house. So with the recovery house, some doctors included in your package, some don't. Mine was not included in my package, and I can't remember how much it was. I think it was like $70 something a day. But it included transportation to and from the doctor's appointments, not from the airport. The airport was separate, but to and from my doctor's appointments, free transportation. It included breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and of course it included like the nurses. Oh, that's another thing. For the Airbnb, you do have to bring your own supplies. For the recovery house, you, depending on your recovery house, you have to bring your own supplies. Okay, so you still have to like pay for your supplies, whether you stay in an Airbnb or recovery house. So yeah. Now at first I didn't have to share a room, but later on I did. I think, I don't want to lie, I stayed at Alba's recovery house, and I think it was like 50 something dollars a day. I'm sorry, because I did, I think I did a triple room, but I ended up, when I first got there, I stayed by myself, and then later on I got a roommate. So yeah, I think it was like 55. I'll leave, but I ended up, when I first got there, I stayed by myself, and then later on I got a roommate. So yeah, I think it was like 55. I'll leave it like what her current rates now. I'll just leave her Instagram in the description box below, so you can see what they are. I don't like to say prices because I know they change. But it was significantly a lot, but it was a lot more than what I paid at the Airbnb. But you know, you get more is included in the recovery house than the Airbnb, but honestly I think that they kind of equal out, or you could end up probably paying less at an Airbnb. So yeah, depending on the recovery house, because there are some recovery houses, like Alba's recovery house was reasonably priced. There are other recovery houses that are very, very expensive, very. So to me, I feel like you'll probably end up coming out cheaper if you decide to just do an Airbnb and hire a nurse and a driver, I feel like, and then you know the nurse will fix your food and things like that. So yeah, but like I said, this is just my opinion. If money isn't a thing, if you know you don't have a budget, you know, then go with the recovery house. But sometimes it's not really about money, it's about comfort too. And I didn't really like, luckily I had like a good roommate, but like let's say if I didn't, you know, I think it'll be like, for me, I would feel more comfortable recovering alone in my own room. And you can have that option of getting your own private room in a recovery house. It's a lot more expensive, but you do have that option too. So yeah, it's like I said, it's just a personal preference. It's like just whatever you want to do. But I'm just being honest and tell y'all, like, I feel like the Airbnb was a more affordable, and you have more privacy that way. Even if you have your own room in a recovery house, you still are in a home with like a ton of more other girls, and you know, so it's like, you know, sometimes it can be drama. Luckily it wasn't any drama with me with Alba. I really like Alba. I didn't really like the food. I kind of got, like, the food was good. I just got tired of eating rice every day, and she pretty much feeds you rice every day. Alba is really nice though. The owner of the recovery house, she's really sweet. Her nurses, staff, they're all really, really sweet. Transportation, everything wasn't a problem. The only thing that I didn't like personally about Alba's particularly recovery house is that it's right by a nightclub. Like, there's a nightclub directly behind her, behind the home. So my room, it was like really, really noisy because you could hear, like, you know, the music from the nightclub, and it just got really, really noisy. So like 2 and 3 in the morning, they're like, you hear music. So that was annoying. And then like another thing was, my room was right by the nurse's station. So like there was just like a lot of chatter in the morning, waking you up, you know, from the nurses talking, like gathering around and talking and things like that. So that was the only thing that I didn't like about it. But it is in a nice neighborhood. It's close to malls. It's even close to like a pizza. There's a Karen's Pizza across the street. So if you really didn't like what they were serving, you could just go across the street or get Uber Eats or something like that. So, you know, it's not really a big deal when it comes to the food. So yeah, if I could do it again, I would probably just go the route of hiring a nurse and a driver and just renting out an Airbnb, an apartment, or you know, an Airbnb like I had the first time that had help there, because you're definitely gonna need help, you know. So yeah, so that's just my take on it. You know, everybody has their own opinions of what they want. I'm not at all saying be cheap about this, because this is your recovery. You know, I feel like, you know, I feel like when it comes to your health and your recovery and everything, like, money should be no object when it comes to that. But, you know, let's be real, a lot of us have budgets, and to me, I just feel like going that other route could be cheaper, because to rent out an Airbnb, you can get one in a nice neighborhood for like $15 a day. Like, mine was only $20 a day. And a lot of these recovery homes they're expensive for no reason, honestly. And then you're like sharing like one nurse with like 20 girls. Like, I've heard of that. So just be careful when you're choosing your recovery house. If you choose to stay in a recovery house, be careful. Make sure that you read the reviews. If you're not in the Instagram surgery community, you want surgery, you need to do it. You need to get in these groups on Facebook, because then you'll get to see like real reviews of what goes on in these recovery houses. And a lot of it isn't always what it seems. Like, you can go on like a recovery house Instagram and it just seems like, oh, it's popping. You know, it just looks like, you know, this is so beautiful, and, you know, I'm just going to just relax and heal in luxury. And then you get there and it's not all what it seems. And then they have like this high price, you know, per day. So do your research. Make sure you do your research, because, you know, you can't just rely on the marketing from the recovery house. Do your research and find out. So that was all that I wanted to say to you lovelies. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, loves.